Welcome everyone to a new product spring release 2024. This will be our first release of a couple coming this year. I'm here with Ruben, who is our product owner, who'll be helping us with some of the business cases. We're happy to have you all here. As you know, we're Plauti, focus on data management solutions. And well, for those of you who don't really know us or first time you hear from us, we're a global leader in Salesforce on data management solutions, right? Founded since 2012, so a couple of years of experience on the back, and we learned quite a lot of things with it. As you can see, we have over 2,000 customers globally, United States, Europe, Asia, everywhere in the world. And we're happy to share our native to Salesforce solutions. What this means is that we process your data within the Salesforce cloud, so to enhance security levels. We're industry agnostic, so we work with any industry you might think of: manufacturing, retail, insurance, banks, governments, everything out there. Well, as you all know, probably we all need clean data, so there is a big opportunity here for everyone to learn. Focusing on our products, three of our products are Duplicate Check, Data Action Platform, and Record Validation. Focusing on Duplicate Check, I think the name says it all. We focus on identifying, matching, and merging duplicates, making sure your database is clean. Data Action Platform is a bit of a Swiss Army knife in the sense that you can do a lot of mass actions, which are sometimes limited by Salesforce itself. So we have another tool that will enhance your abilities to do these mass actions. And lastly, record validation to make sure that you can validate your email addresses, phone numbers, and physical addresses. Now to the main point of today, the elephant, our new releases. These are some of the updates we've brought that we've developed in the last couple of weeks. So we're here to share them with you to make sure you can get the best of the solutions and the subscriptions. We'll start with Duplicate Check, and more specifically the Synonym Matching, one of our highly and most requested feature on our feedback platform. With the Synonym Matching, and as you might have guessed, you'll be able to select words that perhaps are not spelled similarly, but they are the same words, have the same meaning. So you'll be able to select them and consider them as duplicates. Some examples here could be with names. If you have nicknames, right? Maybe Bill and William. That's a common one we see. Or perhaps on the country, if you have US, United States, USA, those are all technically the same, but they're spelled differently. So that could this is a perfect example for synonym matching. In general, you'll be able to match these fields easily, which involves a bit of smart matching. Make sure you get the logic you want, and it will help to stay organized with your data processes, your data management. It's very customizable, because you can create your own list. You can say which words should match to each other, so you'll always be in control of how the fields are compared and how they will be considered duplicates or not. And now, Ruben, do you mind sharing some of the business cases?
Yeah, thanks. Hi, everyone. Good to see so many familiar names joining today. Nico briefly mentioned the use cases already. We see a request for synonym matching, especially for those customers that want to take the extra step in duplicate matching. We see customers struggling with a variation in the same first name, so Bob versus Robert, for example, which are basically the same name, but Duplicate Check will generate a lower score than anticipated, and therefore, you might miss out on duplicate records. So the whole synonym matching feature is built to improve and optimize the DC matching system for examples like these. And I would like to show you that in action as well, and how we can set it up in Salesforce. Yes, all right. So I'm here in my Salesforce environment, and I have prepared an example here with Bob Builder and William Builder. They are from the company Fixit. I can zoom in a little bit maybe so that it's more clear. And you can see that Bob is from New York, from the United States. And this is clearly a duplicate record if you look at it. But if you ask duplicate check, even with fuzzy matching, it will probably generate a low matching percentage because the values that we match on, in this case, first name, last name, state, province, and country, mean the same, but they are written differently. And this is where synonym matching comes in. So what we can do to make sure that these records are found as duplicates in duplicate check, we can go to the DC setup. And in the new update, we have added a menu item at the left side called Synonym Matching, which I can access. And the way we've set it up is that you are able to create your own lists of synonyms. And I already have prepared 3 lists, being the first name, state, provinces, and the country list. But it's up to you to define these lists and to add synonyms yourself. For example, for the first name synonym list, I can add these examples here, but the example that I'm looking for right now is Bob and William. So I'm going to add them as synonyms. If I want, I can add more synonyms, so I can go wild and add an entire list of known synonyms that I want to treat equally in the matching process and apply them to a field of choice. First, I'm going to do it for state provinces as well. You can see that a synonym line already is added for California. I'm going to do the same thing for the example that we just saw. So we got NY, NYC, New York, New York City. So they all refer to the same thing. Oops, typo. And I want to treat them as synonyms in the matching process. I'm going to do the same for country as well. You can see the Netherlands is already in there. So I'm going to add a synonym for the USA on the next line. US, United States, United States of America. So I've added my list of synonyms to the predefined list here. And what's left for me to do is go to the object of choice. In this case, I'm going to optimize the lead scenario. You can open up my existing scenario here. And you can see that we've added a new column called Synonym Matching. And here for the state provinces, I can add a list of synonyms, which we just saw. So I'm going to add the state provinces list. For the first names, I'm going to pick the first name list. And for the country fields, I'm going to pick the country field list. And this is basically all there is to it. The only thing you'd have to do. So when duplicate check is now matching duplicate records, it's going to take into account synonyms defined in these lists for the particular fields that you apply them to. And we're going to treat the values equally in the matching process. So when we go back to Bob and William, which have a lot of different values when I open it up, then our DC Live component generates a pretty high score, 93%, and is able to figure out that these records are duplicates. Yeah, that's basically what synonym matching does. Yeah, so we can apply a lot of lists. There is not a limit on the number of lists you can create. We can apply them to any field and any object, also custom objects and custom fields, which helps you to optimize the DC matching engine. So back to you, Nico.
Yes, thanks, Ruben, for that demo. And I think that's pretty clear for everyone, the possibilities with this, right? So words that don't look similar at all on the spelling, but are considered synonyms, could be considered duplicates. This is a great way to filter them down to make sure you get the results you want from your data cleaning projects. Now, that's basically for synonyms. We'll now move into the next product release, and this one is based on the data action platform. This is what we call the Rollup Action, which is a quick and easy way for data aggregation in short words. So now with this action, you'll be able to calculate values not only on related records, but also on lookup relationships, which is a limitation Salesforce has, which you cannot do from the native native Salesforce functionalities. Something you will be able to do with the Data Action platform Rollup Actions. So in short, forget about all the manual calculations, forget about coding, just go there and automate the process. It will speed your reporting, and you have better visibility of your data, which on the long run and for specific teams, that could mean better lead qualification or better sales tracking. Well, a lot of examples there. So I'll hand it back to Ruben to guide us through the demo and some more examples on it.
Yeah, thanks, Nico. There were a few slides related to this, so maybe we can go to the slide deck. Yep. So Rollup Action. It's an action that we've added to the action library in Data Action platform. And Data Action platform, of course, is our tool that does a lot of things. It holds a lot of micro applications that you can utilize in data management, all done natively on the Salesforce servers without any data transfer. And the latest addition is the Rollup Action, and it allows you to aggregate data from indeed related records, like Nico already said. But we also added the option to aggregate data from lookup relationships, which opens up new possibilities in Salesforce. So if we compare it further to the Rollup summary field that Salesforce had, there are a couple limitations, specifically also in the filter. In applying a filter, you can only use an AND operator, where the action that we've built allows you to set more advanced filters to your query logic. Besides that, we've added a couple of rollup types. We are able to do a count distinct. We are able to do a concatenate, which opens up a nice use case here and there, contrary to the Salesforce rollup summary fields. But the best thing, I think, is that we are able to batch these rollups, and we can store data that we aggregate using the rollup actions in the database, so that we have actionable data, so we can do a follow-up actions based on what we aggregate. If we go to the next slide, there is a use case that I would like to show you. As an account manager, I'd like to get assigned a new task if one of my accounts opened up more than 3 cases last week. And this is something that we can do with Rollup in combination with Data Action platform. By the way, if there are questions, I see a question from Bethany coming in. Thank you for that. Feel free to ask your questions. We'd be happy to answer them. We have a Q&A at the end, but if I can answer them on the spot, I'd be happy to do so as well. And Bethany asked, what is the difference between count, distinct, and count? Well, the difference between that is that count is able to count records, so it's as simple as that. And count distinct is able to count unique values from a certain field that you select. And I'm going to show you an example for that in a second. So I'm back in Salesforce, and remember, I'm going to set up Data Action platform to automatically generate a task if an account opened up more than 3 cases in 1 week, because something might be up there. There might be some difficulties, who knows what. So the account manager should reach out to see if everything is still okay. I'm going to do that from the Dep job page, and I'm going to open up a scheduled job by clicking the new job button. And I'm going to roll up cases for accounts. And then again, the case to account relationship is a lookup relationship, so this wouldn't be possible with the out-of-the-box functionality in Salesforce. I'm going to pick the account object, and I'm not going to apply a filter to the accounts, because I want to roll up cases for all the accounts in my database to see if someone opened up more than three or more than 3 cases in the last week. So I'm going to do that on the schedule, and I'm going to do that on a Friday afternoon, because at that point I'm going to figure out the number of cases that were opened in the previous week or in this week. So I'm going to start that process at 2. Then we will get to the action launcher. And as you can see, the toolbox from Data Action Platform is getting pretty extensive. We can do a number of things now, which we're really proud of. And one of the new things that we can do is rolling up information. So I'm going to pick the Rollup Action. And then I'll get to the Rollup interface, in which I can configure what I want to aggregate in the case object. But first I have to decide where I would like to aggregate. So I'm going to look up the case object. And then again, we can aggregate information from any related records in a master detail context or in a lookup relationship context. I do not want to aggregate all cases, so I'm going to add a filter. And I'm going to add a filter on created date. And then I'm going to use a date literal, and the date literal equals this week. So I'm only going to count the cases that are created this week. The field that I want to aggregate in this case is the case number, and I want to count the number of unique cases that were opened this week. And I can now decide where I want to store this number. And for that, I have created a dedicated custom field where I want to store this information, which now gets updated on a weekly schedule, because I've set this to be a scheduled job that runs every day, every Friday, sorry, at 2. Clicking next, I will get a summary of what I'm about to schedule, and I'm gonna schedule it. So this will now run every day at 2, but I can also decide to run it now with the Run Once Now button. So let's do that. You can see that the new job is added to my job overview, and I'm ready to go. So now I have stored for all my accounts for this week a number of cases that were opened. And as a next step, I would like to create a task, and assign it to the account owner to let the account owner know that a high volume of cases was detected. So I'm going to do that with another scheduled job. Create a task if 3 or more than 3 cases this week. And I'm going to select the account object again. And this time I do want to add a filter, because I only want to take into account the number of cases opened in the last 7 days is greater to or equals to 3. I'm going to add a schedule, and I want to run this an hour later, because then I've got all my aggregated data stored in the relevant records. So I'm going to start this at 3. Clicking next, I can click the Create Tasks action, which is in our action library, and I can set up my task. So the status is going to be not started. Subject is high volume of cases detected. The due date is a day after task creation. The priority is going to be high. And here I can write a comment while using field variables. So I'm going to address the owner of this record by their first name. Hi, first name. Please reach out to, and I'm going to use a variable for the account name. Because a high volume of cases was detected, and then I'm gonna put in the variable for the number of cases opened in the last 7 days. So I'm okay with this for now. Going to click next, and I'm going to schedule this as well. So this is always the scary part. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna run it. Because I already ran the roll-up cases for accounts job, and I know that I have an account standing by. It's going to be Long Beach Medical Center, which has more than 3 cases linked to it. So if I go to the task object, then a task should be created. High volume of cases detected. Hi, Ruben, please reach out to Long Beach Medical Center because a high volume of cases was detected, and the number is 3. Just a simple example of how we can automate a business process based on aggregating data across relationships that are not familiar to Salesforce in the context of aggregating data or doing a rollup via rollup summary fields. And like this, we have so many use cases which we can execute here. If you're interested about that, feel free to visit our website because we can give you some more insights into that. With that, let's go back to Nico.
Yes, thanks, Ruben, for that. Well, you mentioned simple demo, but I think it gives a clear view of all the capabilities that the Data Action platform can do, and specifically now focusing on the Rollup Action. And I think this links very well to our next update, which is the direct action. You saw Ruben running some jobs. This is something that we can also automate with the new action, which is the direct action, right? If you thought there was some process you had to do and some task. If you feel that you could still speed up the process, this is the answer for that. With the direct action, you'll be able to automate your actions based on custom triggers or custom triggers on it. So forget all the delays, all the manual efforts, and more. This will be, as the name says, activated directly upon those custom triggers that you have set up. So you have basically another step to reach automation on your data standard procedures. Now, Ruben, back to you.
Yeah, direct action is a pretty exciting new feature which we've added to Data Action platform, and it is indeed able to run any action in our action library based on the triggers that we now see here. So it can be run on user insert, user update, but also if you do an update via SOAP or via REST, or if you import records, for example, which opens up a treasure trove of possibilities because our action library is really rich, and we can now execute all these functionalities at point of entry without any user involvement, which is pretty exciting. And I've actually two use cases to show you guys. The first use case is the following. So as a sales operations manager, I would like to automatically distribute my imported records equally to my sales team. And I want to do that right away. And direct action is able to do exactly that. So I'm here in the DAP setup, and there's a new menu item on the left side called direct action. And this is where I can start any of the processes based on the trigger of choice. So I'm gonna click the new direct action button, and I'm going to call this direct action distribute imported leads. And I'm going to select the object. I'm going to search for the lead object. And I'm not going to add a filter, but I am able to define a filter here. So I'm now going to distribute imported leads automatically without a filter, but you can also define a filter that only the records that meet your filter criteria are automatically distributed equally to your sales teams. That's up to you. So the triggers that we just saw in the PowerPoint slide, you can find here as well. So I'm going to pick bulk upload, and I'm going next. Now I'm going to take the assign ownership action. I'm going to click next. And here I can add my users, but I want to target my entire sales team. I'm going to look for a group, and my incredible sales team consists out of these 4 figures. And right now I'm setting up assign ownership to evenly distribute the records that I'm going to import amongst these members. But if I want, I can also make a custom distribution. I can say 50% to Iron Man, 20% to Incredible Hulk, 20% to Captain America, and 10% to the Black Widow. So that's up to you to decide. Clicking next, I will again get a summary of what I'm about to set up via a trigger, and I can click create, and then my direct action is added to the list. And before it is active, I have to click the activate button. So now this is active and will run on any bulk upload that I'll do. So to show you that, I'm going to try to show you that by going to the setup. If I go to the setup, then I'm not longer sharing my screen. So let me figure that out real quick by picking another screen to share. And that is going to be this screen. So I hope that Danielle can put it on the screen. Yay. I'm going to the data import wizard. We have to do that thing again in a second, because then I'm going back to the front side of Salesforce. I'm going to add leads. I'm going to do this rather quickly because you're probably familiar with this workflow. I'm going to import 500 leads from a CSV file. This is where we map the records. I'm going to start the import. So this will now run. It's now in progress, but while the records are being imported into Salesforce, we are equally distributing them to the sales team based on the custom distribution that we've set. So I've now set it to completed. So if I now switch back, then probably this works. If you go to the setup, then I'm losing the sharing capabilities, but the other way around it does work. So if I now go to the setup, I'm going to check out all open leads. Then you will see, I'm going to the leads imported today. Quickly have to remove the filter here. Then you will see that we are assigning these records to the sales team as per configurations that we did in the direct action action that we just saw. So yeah, getting rid of another manual step, and also we are now granting access to these leads rather quickly. So speed to lead wise, yeah, it cannot go faster than this, which is of course a valuable thing. So yeah, that was that use case. I have another use case to show you, and there's a slide for that. So maybe we can bring it up real quick. Can we bring up the slide, please? Yeah. Second use case is, as a customer success manager, I want to be able to find a summary of any incoming case at point of entry. And as you know, as part of the data action platform action library, we can now go back to the Salesforce screen. We have a ChatGPT integration, which allows us to implement ChatGPT decisions in any business process that we operate in Salesforce, which opens up a lot of fun possibilities. And one of them is summarizing cases at point of entry, which we are now able to do thanks to direct action, because it can run on the trigger of a record insert. So let me show you how that would work. So I'm going to click new direct action. I'm going to call this summarize case. And I'm going to select the case object. And I'm not going to apply a filter because I want any incoming case to be summarized by GPT. And I can pick SOAP inserts, I can pick REST API inserts, I can pick Web to case, I can do user inserts, whatever I'd like, and I can click next. After which I can find the Ask ChatGPT action. And in the action, I can define a prompt and I can define a result field where the answer of GPT should be stored. So I'm going to ask GPT to please summarize the following customer case in bullet points. A maximum of 200 words or 100 or whatever you would like. With the prompt, I can send record information. And of course, this is something that we need to do. Otherwise, GPT would not have the context of what the case is about. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the subject of the case by putting in a field variable. And I'm going to put in the description of the case. by also should put this one like that. And as a result field, there is a dedicated custom field which I've called case summary, which I put on the page layout as well. So now for every incoming case, and it doesn't matter via what channel, because we got all the channels covered. We got REST insert, we got SOAP insert, we got user insert, we got Web2 case. I can click next. We get the summary. It's going to be added to my direct action list, and I can activate it. And now this is done. So without me having to write any line of code, we've integrated AI capabilities on the case object, which is pretty exciting. So let's put it to the test. I'm going to manually insert a new case. And I have a case standing by over here, which is rather long, which allows us to see the summarize capabilities about user event. And I'm gonna check the mandatory field. It's going to be an email, and I'm going to save it. So this is a user insert, of course. Right now, because the trigger is active, it's going to send out an API call to the OpenAI API. It's going to send over the prompt, and it will return a summary in the case summary field. And this takes a bit of time. It's between 5 and 10 seconds usually. And you can now see on the right side that we have a bullet point summary of a maximum of 200 words, which we got within 10 seconds after the case was created. So this is pretty exciting because we can apply this to any process in Salesforce, right? We can run this on a trigger event. We can run this via flows if we want to. We can run this in a batch context, so we can run prompts on the entire existing database, on any object, on any custom fields. Well, we are really excited about that and about all the possibilities that it will get us. We also use, for example, GPT for doing spam detection, and it's really good at doing spam detection. We can also configure it to, for example, read the case, get the context of the case, and decide which department within an organization is best for answering that specific question. So it's able to route any incoming case to the right department within 10 seconds. We can also ask it to see if the case should be defined as a high priority case or a low priority case, and depending on the answer, for example, create a follow-up task with direct action to a customer success manager, for example. So all these possibilities are now at your fingertips with Data Action Platform. And the cool thing is there's no technical knowledge required. There's no expensive subscription required, like our friends at Salesforce offer now. So a lot of cool stuff that we can implement right now. So that's basically what I wanted to show you in terms of direct action and Data Action Platform. So let's go back to Nico and see if we have any questions.
Yes, thanks, Ruben, for the demo there with some of extra features of what Data Action Platform can do. I do see one in the chat from Bethany, which we already answered, Ruben, but I did receive someone private messages here. Let's see. Which subscription do I need to have synonym matching? Good question. For those of you familiar with Duplicate Check, we have 3 different versions: free, advanced, and premium. Synonym matching is something coming for the premium edition. So feel free to let us know if it's something you will be interested, something you would need in data challenges, so we can get you set up with the premium version. Let me scroll down here. I think this one's for you, Ruben. Is direct action accessible for admins only?
That's a good question. So direct action can be configured in our setup, in the DAP setup, which is a tab in Salesforce. And by using Salesforce Action Management controls, we can decide who has access to the DAP setup. Also, we have permission sets standing by. So as an admin, you can decide who has access to what parts in our application. And it makes sense that that a feature like this is only accessible to system engineers and system administrators.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Ruben. Those are it for the questions I received here directly. I don't know, Ruben, if you received any. Otherwise, I think that covers it. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for participating with us in this webinar. Hope you get a good understanding of the new product releases for our solutions. If they are definitely something you would like to implement as soon as possible, feel free to get them from the App Exchange. Our solutions are there: duplicate check, data edge platform, and record validation. If you need any help with installation or with setup or anything, you can reach out to our support team, support@plauti.com, and we'll be helping you out. We also have a support library full of all these articles on implementation here. And of course, thank you once again for joining us here in the webinar.